So, hi, hello folks. Good evening. Welcome everyone to this event. We will be starting in 2 minutes. Please wait.
Hello, Dipti.
Yeah, भैया, I can start. Good evening, everyone. Let's just start with COC of the event. Am I audible properly?
Yeah, you can proceed.
Hello. Okay. So let's just start. Be nice, respectful, and constructive while interacting on the BB virtual or YouTube live chat social media. Do not post anything if any other content, rude or offensive statements. Do not advertise or promote anything. Do not spam, post same thing again and again. And harassment of any kind is not tolerated in this event, and if you fail to follow this code of conduct, you will be blocked from interacting on the chat. Report to GDSC at the rate lp.co.in if you find anything inappropriate. Thank you, and I would like to hand over the session to Suratmani.
Okay. Uh, I think Raman is having some issue with the platform. He will be joining very soon. Meanwhile, Imran, you can interact with the audience.
Yeah, sure. Firoz. So, hi, good evening, everyone. Excited for the event? Okay. Yes. Okay. Anyways, how was your previous event? Like HTML one? Any feedback? Too good, insightful. Okay. Yeah, it was beginner friendly.
Raman, are you there? Like, can we proceed?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I
Yes.
present slides because if you are having internet issue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm turning off the camera also.
Yep.
Yeah. So, hello everyone, how are you all? That's great. So, how many of you are interested for this CSS? As our last session was for ST. Good, Prajwal. Thank you for asking. Yeah, that's great. Let's move forward here. So in the previous session, there was the HTML, and you know that what is HTML? HTML is we use the HTML to create the structure of the web page, and we learned about many tags that we need. So now the second step is to learn about the CSS, so that how we can style the structure of the web page. So let's start. So first of all, there is the intro to the CSS, as that is introduction. So CSS stands for cascading style sheets, as it is used to create the styles for the web page. So that's why it is known as cascading. Now let's move forward here and know about the is CSS. So CSS, as you know, the full form, that is cascading. So it is used to describe like how our element should display on the screen. So as you can see that there is event is running on this website. So if think that this website is just made with HTML. So how will be the design of this website? So it will not be any attractive. So it will not be any good. It will not be looking good. So to make it little attractive and to make the layout of the website very good, so that it should be simple and it should be visible to everyone, so that they should find our website interactive and very good. So CSS is used to control the multiple pages at once. So it is used to control the layouts of the multiple pages, like multiple pages, because we can add the CSS in different file and its extension is .css, and we can use the same file in the multiple pages if we want. So that's why we can control multiple pages at once with the help of only one CSS file. It is used to look HTML better that we know. So this is the web page that is without CSS here. So Suresh, can you please move forward? Yeah, this is a page without CSS. So you are seeing the page without CSS and it is not attractive. So can you say that like this is my portfolio website? So will you make your portfolio website just with HTML? No, you have to make this attractive. So for that you have to apply the CSS. Yeah. So let's move forward here. So next, in the next slide, there is a page that is with the CSS. So this is a page with the CSS. Now you can see that the layout is very attractive and there is an alignment in the layout. So everything is perfect here. Now we can move forward here. So you can see the same page is designed with different design. So it is having different layout. Yeah, CSS is very good. Yes, that I know. So now let's move forward here. Yeah, we can design a page in many styles using the CSS. Now let's move forward. CSS. So as I already told you that with the HTML, the CSS means with the HTML, our website will not good. It will be not attractive. So it is CSS is used to define the style of our web page and layout. It is used to add the variations in the design, and it is used to make the web page layout attractive. And if we want to display content in different screen sizes, as you can see that if I'm using this website in the tablet, or I'm using this website in the desktop and in the mobile phone, so every size of the device is different. So we can use the CSS to define that, like how our web page will look on different type of sizes on different type of devices. So that's why CSS save us a lot of work, and it is solving a very big problem for us. So now let's see next year. So we will see some CSS basics to advanced. So here what we will do first. So first of all, I will tell you every important concept of CSS, like what we need. And then we will move towards the CSS properties that I will tell you with the coding here. So open the code editor. I will open the code editor, and there I will explain the properties of the CSS. So first of all, let's begin with CSS basics. So let's begin with the CSS syntax here. So can you please move forward? Yeah, this is the CSS syntax. So you can see that this H1 is a selector here. So this is a selector. Then we have the curly braces. So this is a declaration block. In the declaration block, we define the properties of the CSS. So this property is defined as a whole declaration. this whole declaration is there, and it contains property, then property with the value, value of the property. There is a semicolon. In the declaration block, we can write many properties here. So there are almost 300 properties. In the W3 school, 28 properties are there, and almost there are 300 properties. So you can define any property in this declaration block. And as you can see that there are two properties used here. So one is color. So color is blue. So this will make the heading color as blue. And then font size is there, and it will make the font size as 12 pixel. So this pixel px is the CSS unit. So we will get to know about everything from basics to advanced in the next slides. And you can see that this is a syntax here, how we write the CSS. So this is known as that is internal CSS. So we use the style tag, and this is known as the internal CSS. So I will tell you about the three types of CSS also, so that you will get to know. So now let's move forward here. So next we will, this is a example. So you can see the same code is there. Code is there, and we have this two paragraph tags are there, and then we have targeted the element name. So this is a simple selector, that is the element name, and we have added the element name, that is P paragraph, and then curly braces we have applied, that is declaration block. So we need the style tag here to write the internal CSS, and that is written in the head tag. And there is a color red, and you can see that we have color red applied to both the paragraphs, and text align as the center. So you can use a line tag, align attribute as well. But if you want to align the text, use this property. So now let's move forward, and we will see about some CSS. So what is a CSS selector here? So CSS selector is that with the help of selector, we can select any HTML element, and using that selector, we can style that particular HTML element. So we have 5 categories of these CSS selectors. One is simple selector, combinator, pseudo class, pseudo elements, and attribute. So we will see all of them one by one. And this pseudo class means these are some also advanced concept, that is pseudo class and pseudo elements. And attributes we mostly use with the forms. So if we have to select any input with particular type, then we use mostly the attribute selectors. And simple selectors and combinator we use mostly. So now let's move forward here, and let's see some example. So first of all, before the example here, we will see how to add the CSS. So there are 3 ways to add the CSS. One is external CSS, that is added into the head section. So in the head section, we apply the link tag, and first of all, external CSS, we write in the different file. So that file is with the .css extension. So there we write the external CSS, and using the link tag, we connect that to our HTML file in the head tag. And internal CSS, you have seen in the previous slide here. So previous slide, you have seen that is we have the style tag in the head tag, and then we are selecting the paragraph. So that was the internal CSS. And there is a inline CSS. We write it under the HTML attribute, means HTML element, as a style attribute. So there we have to write the style attribute, and then that style attribute will be having the value, and that value we mark as a string, and that will become our declaration block. So we will get to know about this in upcoming slides. So here I want to tell you that we have the most priority for the inline CSS because it is defined in a particular HTML element and it is in the block here. That's why the most priority will go to the inline CSS. So now let's move forward and let's the example of the external CSS and internal CSS. So here is the example of the external CSS. So you can see that we have this mystyle.css file, and we have applied CSS here. So first of all, for the body, so for the body we have applied background color. So we have the property of background color. Don't worry about these. So we will get to know about the properties with practical example. So I will show you the practical work with that. So background color is light blue, so it will set the background color as light blue, and then we have targeted the h1 tag. Its color will be navy, and then margin left will be 20 pixel. And in the next slide there is an output of this, and you can see that here we have used link tag, and this rel is a slide sheet, that is a relation, so that is a style sheet. This confirms that this is a style sheet. And then we have the h reference of the style sheet, that is source file of the style sheet, as it is in the same folder. So we are writing mystyle.css only, and now our CSS will be directly connected to the HTML page. So don't worry about that. So we will do the practical this also. So now let's move forward. This is the output here. You can see heading is having the navy color, and it is also having the margin. And here you can see that we have the body background color as sky blue or light blue here. So now let's move ahead and see about the internal CSS. So it is having the more priority than the external CSS because it is defined under the particular block here. So means in the same file, and then it is written inside the head tag as here. Style tag is there, and the code is same, but there is a style tag. It's not any external file, and here there is a style tag under the same HTML file, and we have the same code. And style tag as I have defined earlier. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, actually, my connection was unstable. Sorry. So let's move forward and let's see about the inline CSS here. So inline is the more priority than the external and internal, as I have already said, and it is written inside the HTML element, and you can see in the picture below. So we have the style attribute, and we are writing the particular CSS under the style attribute. So this string will be our declaration block. So here we will define our all type of properties for the inline CSS, and it is having the most priority. So because it is defined under a block under the element here. So now let's move forward and let's see about comments. So how we can write the comment in the CSS. So here you can see the images here. Yeah, internal CSS, we have the same CSS in HTML code, and in external CSS, we define that in the external CSS file. So don't worry about that. We are going to do the practical also. I will explain you there. So here you can see that we can write a single line comment and multi-line comment here. And we have this one, that is, first of all, there is slash here. The backslash is there. Sorry, it is just a slash. Then there is a asterisk. Then there is a command, so we can write that. And same, we have to do a procedure here. So you can see that there is one multiply sign is there, and here is asterisk. So we have to maintain the procedure. So like this, like we have started, same wise we have to end this. So you can write the comments like this in the CSS. About the CSS box model. So what is the CSS box model? So let's move forward. Can you please just click once again? Yeah. So here, when we are talking about design or layout in the context of CSS, then this means that we are talking about the CSS box model. So CSS in the every HTML element, around the every HTML element, there is a box. So that wraps around any HTML element. So you can see that here we have, this is one element. So this is one element. So for one element, we have this box model. It is having margin, border, padding, and this is for the content. So this is for the content here. So sir, can I share the screen?
Yes, now you can.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Okay, so here you can see my pages there, and here I've opened the inspect element, and you can see the HTML code here in the elements you can see. So when I'm going to select any element here, so let's select this element. So I have selected this element here. So when you will go below to the CSS, and we have here particular box model. So you can see that we have the box model, and here we have the margin. So margin is null here. So there is not any margin, and then we have the border. So there is not any border, and then we have the paddings there. So there have no padding, and now you can see the content size here. So it is width is equals to 395.413 pixel, and height is 168 pixel. So you can see this one. So this is our content here, and it is also highlighting here. So this is our proper box model. Now in the next slide, you can also see the example of the box model. So I'm stop sharing. So shall I move forward this presentation? Yeah. So here is of the box model. So can you please move forward? Yeah, this is a box model. See that we have the coding. So in that, first of all, we have defined the S2 tag here. So we have the S2 tag, and then we have the paragraph tag. And now you can see that for this div, we have some here margin is there. So there is margin outside, padding as well. So there, and then we have the border. So as we have defined border here, so don't worry about these here. So we are going to know about these properties. So just understand about the box model. So here you can see that border. So we can define border as well. So here we have the border. So now how we calculate the values in the box model. So that we have to understand. So can you please move back little? Yeah, forward. Of box model, CSS box model. Yeah, this one. So here you can see that we don't have any margin, we don't have any border, and also a padding here. So if we will having the margin, border, and padding. So first of all, we will calculate every margin. Every side we will calculate the margin. So if we want to calculate the total width, so we will calculate the first. There is thing that let margin be 10 pixel from left as well as from the right here. So 10 plus 10 will be 20, and now we have to consider a border as well. So if the border is also 10 pixel, so we have to plus that also. We have to add that. So it will be 20 plus 20, 40. And same that padding. So we have to calculate everything here from the left side and from the right side. So that will be our total width of the box. And then same for the height we have to do. So this is how we calculate the height and width of the full div, considering the margin, border, and padding, means considering the whole box model. So now let's move forward. So here we will talk about the CSS combinators. So combinators are the relations between selectors. So it explains the relation between the selectors here. So means we it contain more than one simple selectors. Like if we want to add the CSS to our descendants or our siblings, then we can use this combinator with the simple selector. So we are using this combinator like there is a paragraph. So in the paragraph there is a descendant, there is a child here, that is the you can see that there is an anchor child. So you will use P, this child selector, and then there is a anchor tag. So it will select all the childs in the paragraph tag that contains the anchor. So means all child anchors it will select from the paragraph. Four types of CSS combinators. So these are very useful for us. So we have the descendant selector. So that is just a space. So this is a very means popular, very popular, you can't say. So we use this most, like most people use this also. So and others are also beneficial. So according to your need, so these all are beneficial. Then a child selector is there. So this is used to select the child. And then adjacent sibling selector is there. So this is a plus sign. So this means that this is this will select the next sibling. And then there is a journal sibling selector. So we use this one, that is tilt sign. So we use the tilt sign. So this will select the journal sibling. So you will get to know about this also. So let's move forward. So there are here about that. So here you can see that this is our that is space selector. So that is our descendant selector. So this will select the paragraph, means it will select the paragraph under a div. So if div is containing a paragraph, so then it will select a paragraph. Means first div is the parent element and then paragraph is the child element. So it will select the all paragraphs here. And then we have the background color. So our paragraph will be having the background color, so, but only that paragraph which is a child element of div element. And then this is a child selector. So this is say div, and then that is the greater than sign. We have the P. So if we have many childs, then it will select all the childs and make that a background color yellow. And then we have the plus sign. So this means that div will be also with the its child here with with its first sibling. So first sibling that is below. So it will select that also. So its background color will be yellow. So now if we are only selecting the sibling, so then we use the tilt sign so that it will select that color as background. So we will doing the practical of this also. So let's move forward, as we have less time and we have to do the practical also. Now we have the CSS attribute selector. Now there is an attribute selector here. So we are going to know about the selectors, types of selector. So here we have the this attribute selector is used to select means any element with respect to their attribute. So it is having these types here. So that is, there is one tilt sign equals to attribute tilt sign equals to value, and class multiply equals to t, and then there is this one dollar sign is there. So its meaning is that, so first dollar sign is there. So this means that if the attribute is ending with value, then this is a dollar sign here, attribute dollar sign is equals to value. This means that if the attribute is ending with this value, and then if this attribute is starting with this value, so we have for this also. And then attribute or equals to value means if this is having exact same type of this value. So if it is having exact same type of this value, so then this is having the odd section here. And then we have the multiply equal to. So if it is starting with this TE, so we have this class here. So if the class is starting with the TE, so then we will select that element. And then we have the attribute here. So like attribute, if attribute contains this value, so that element will be selected. So this is a basic syntax. So we have the element here, and then according to the attribute, we will select the element. So we can have the target any value, or we can use types here. So according to that, it will uh, change the background color. It will change the CSS. So mostly we use this with the help of forms. So with the help of forms, we mostly use this. So now let's move forward here. So here, now of the pseudo classes. So what are the pseudo classes here? So pseudo classes represent the special state of element. So it represents the special state of element, and you can see some pseudo classes here. So as there are many pseudo classes, so I have written some of the pseudo classes here. So it is used to represent the special state. Like if this is a active, so active we use for the anchor tag. So this is to choose like when our anchor tag will be active, so what will be the class. Like for the button we use, so button colon and hover colon hover. So when there will be a hover on a button, so what CSS we have to do. So these are the some pseudo classes here, so which represent the some special state of the element here. So you can get to know about this also in the practical. So now let's move forward. So here we have the pseudo elements. So as the pseudo classes represent the special state, pseudo elements represent the special state of elements. So pseudo elements are means same like a pseudo class, but it sometimes start with the colon. So like we have a colon before, and we have some other pseudo elements. We can means it represents the special state. So we will do the practical of this also. Now the is about CSS unit. This is a last important concept, and then we will, and I will tell properties, responsive web design, how to write the media queries, and other things in the. So here they CSS units. So can you please move forward? So here we have some CSS unit, like we have the centimeter here. So these are our, I think these are absolute or relative units. So there is a millimeter, and then inches we use. So you can see that 1 inch is equals to 96 pixels. That is approximately 2.54 centimeter. And then there we have pixel unit, that is point unit, PC unit. So you can use any this type of unit here. Then we have some relative units here. So that are relative to these units. So can you please move forward? Yeah, we have this EM, EX, CH, and then REM, W is there. That is VH, that is view width, view height, and Vmin, Vmax, and percentage. So these are some relative units. So now let's move forward to the CSS properties. So as we have 300 CSS properties here, so can you please move forward here? Yeah. So we have 300 properties almost, and in the in the that one W3 schools, there are 228 properties are mentioned, but there are approximately 300 properties there for the CSS. And some of the properties you can see background, border, color, text, height and width, outline is there, and many more properties are there. So now we are going to know about these properties in the practical. So let's open the VS Code and start from the scratch. Yeah, Suraj, can you please give me the right?
Yep, now you can, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Is my screen visible to everyone? Can you please confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So here I'm moving to this one here, to the empty folder, and here you can see I have some images here, because I will tell you about the properties with images as well. So here, first of all, I'm going to create one HTML file. So for that, just click on new and click on the text document. So here you can create one HTML file here, or you can simply open this folder in the VS Code. So I will tell you in the both ways. So if your extension is not shown, you can go to the computer and in the view, you in the settings of the folder, you can enable the extension. So here I will be naming this as index.html. Click on yes. So we will be having the index.html file here, and it will open in your default browser. As Microsoft Edge is my default browser, so it is opening on that here. So here I'm opening this in my VS Code. So just right click and open with code. Yeah. So you can see that this is opened here, and we have these images also here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have index.html file that is fully blank. So here let's for the HTML here. So here will be the, first of all, doc type will be there. Doc type HTML. Then we will create a snippet for the HTML. So you can create the VS Code also here. So here what you have to do, just write HTML and :5. So it defines that we are using the HTML file, and then simply press button. So it will generate your simple snippet for the HTML. And here we have attribute as language for the HTML. That is, this means that this HTML document is having language as English. And we have the char set, that is a character set, that is the UTF-8. As you can, as you know, like we have many documents, like there is a PDF, there is a text file, and it is having the UTF-8 char set, UTF-8 character set. So that is according to the ASCII code. And then we these are some meta information of the, and this is a viewport here that I was saying in the previous session here. So that is a viewport. So this is used for the responsiveness. So for now, I'm going to comment. So here, so if you want to know the shortcut, so that is in the VS Code, you have to press Control and there is a slash. The slash, you have to do that, and it will comment this code here. So you can change the title as well. So here in I'm writing just h1 tag, so that is hello world. And I'm opening with the live server here. So if you don't have any live server, so you can simply go to the extension, and here you can search for live server and simply install that. Here I'm opening with the live server. So it is starting. So now you can see that we have a hello world here. So let me open the VS Code as well. So we have just a hello world. Now we have to add the CSS here. So how we can do that? So there are three ways to add the CSS. First of all, we can use the style attribute here. So that is the inline. So here you can see there are many properties here, that is border, display, height, margin. So there are almost 300 properties here. In the VS Code, all are visible. So you can use that. Like here, just I'm changing the color. So color to, there is a like red, or you can use this red color name, as well as you can use the hex code. So that is F F0000. So first for red, first two for red, and then second other two for red, green, sorry, and then for the blue. So that is RGB, and the shortcut is also there. So that is F00. So you can also do this, and live server it is automatically refreshing, and we have this hello world. So like this we can write, as well as we can write under the head tag. So under the head tag there will be the style. So we have to write the style here, and other we can represent the type also here. So that is type. So type will be text slash CSS. So there we can represent a type, as there are many preprocessor of CSS as well. Like we have SCSS is there and many more. So but by default will be the CSS. So we don't have to specify the type here. So here now I'm targeting the H1 tag. So for that here I'm targeting the H1 tag. This is a simple selector here. So we have the simple selector. So that is targeting this just H1 tag name. And here we can write the background. Let it be black. So background as a black. So you can write the background color as well. So background color as a black. So because background is the shorthand. So if you want to use, if you don't want to use the shorthands, so you can use the background color as well. So like background color is there, background repeat. So background repeat is used with the image, and then background region is there. So now let's add the color. So color to the white. So here we have the color as white here. Now you can see that we have this internal CSS here. Now I'm writing one more H1 tag, and here is the hello world 2. So here you can see that we have the hello world 2 below also here, and it is having the same type of CSS. So if I will specify with the class here, so if I'm writing the class as hello world, or let it be test class, and I'm going to select this with only class here, so it will be having only upper one will be having the background color and color as white here and black. And then if I'm specifying here for the H1, so for the H1 I'm specifying the background color as red and color as let it be black. So just save this. Now you can see that it is not overwritten. We have written the H1 tag, H1 CSS for the H1 below the class. Above one is having the class here. So that's why you can know that we have the most priority to the class than this tag name. Rather than the element name, we have the most property for the class. And same is applicable for the ID. So for the ID, if ID is the test, and then we can use the ID as well. So just copy this. So here will be the ID. So that is test. And for the ID, we use hashtag here. And for the class, dot symbol to represent the class, and hashtag represent the ID here. And element just represent as a element name. So ID, so let its color. So color should be white. Only I have changed the color here. So it is just changing the color as white. So let me change it as yellow here. We have the yellow color. Now you can see that we have not the yellow color, but we have the white color. So this means that most priority is for the ID rather than the class. And class is having the most priority than the this simple element name selector. So this is the inline CSS here. So now let me tell you about the external CSS. So how we can use the external CSS. So here I'm creating one folder. So that is with the CSS. So as managing the code in the folder is very good. And here I'm creating one file. So that will be the index.css. So here .css is the extension to define the external CSS or the CSS file. And here I'm writing the same code. So just saving this. Now you can see that this output is not changing. So why it is not changing? Because we haven't linked our external CSS with our HTML here. So here what I'm going to do. So here in the body tag, I'm going to use link tag here, and relation will be the style sheet. And here I'm going to add the H reference. As you can see, it is our folder structure. Index.html is under the root folder, but this index.css is under the CSS folder. So here what we will do, so we will use dotted slash. So sorry, we don't have to use dotted slash because dotted slash is used to come one level up. So we are under the same folder. So here we are going to use CSS. So there will be CSS slash and index.css. So now we have selected the CSS file here. So that is under the CSS folder, and file name is index.css. So just save this, and now you can see the styles are applying here. So this is the use of external CSS. So I will be using the external CSS here. Let's stay with that. So now let's see about the property of border first. So how we can define the border. So let me comment this h1 tag, and let's go to the CSS. So here I will be using class here. Other I am removing or just comment it. So here I'm using as a this one class here. So here now I have to define the border. So for that we have different properties here. So you can see that here we have the border bottom. We can define the border top. We have the border color. We have the border left, right, width, and style. So we will start from the style here. So first here you can this is used to define the border style. So here you can see that we have many values here for that. That is read, dash, dotted, double, groove, hidden. So these are all the styles of the border that we can apply. So let me apply this one as dashed. We have the border style dashed here, and now you can see that we have the border as dashed. So let me remove this CSS. You can now see the border. So now our border is dashed. So this is having the style as dashed here. So here we can define now the border color as well. So we can use the border color. So that is red here. So when I will save this, you can see that our border color is red. Now there is border width is also there. So we can define the width as well. So by default now it is 2 pixel. So we can write it as 5 pixel here. You can see that our border is 5 pixel. It can be 10 pixel as well. And it is having style dashed and color as red here. So instead of dash, if you don't want to apply anything, so you can write border as solid as well. So it is having the style as solid. So if you want to specify the particular border, like you want to specify the border left, border bottom only. So what you will do. So here I will write the border style here. So border width. So here I will define border bottom. So let the border top will be 0. So here you can define the border top as 0. So you are using the 0 here. So you don't have to mention the 0 pixel because it will by default take it as 0. To the CSS 0 is good rather than 0 pixel. So just write 0 here, and then you can define the border bottom as 0, or you can define the border 0 here. Now you can see that we have the border left and border bottom left now. So this is having the shorthand also. So when I'm going to comment this, now let's use the shorthand border. So we have the shorthand as border. And here, first of all, we have to define the pixel here means width of the border, like 5 pixel. And then we have to define the border style. So it can be solid, dashed, or groove. And then we have to define the color of the border. So let it be that color. Save this. Now you can see that in the shorthand also we have the same type of border, 5 pixel, and its style is dashed. And then we have the color right here. So I hope you have understand about the border here. Yeah, that's great. So now let's move forward here. So let's move forward with the background property here. So I will select the body selector first, and let's remove the border from here and save this. So we have this hello world here. So now I am selecting the body. So here we have the body here. So now you can, we have the background property here. So you can set the background color of the body. So that is by default, there is a white here. So let's set it as red. We have now that is background color of body as a red. You can even set the background color of this text here. So that is background color. Let it be white. You can see that we have a background color of h1 with class test as a white here. And now we can also set the background image. So if you want to set the background image, you can set the background image here. So background image, if you want to set, first of all, I'm going to remove the color here. So just save this, and also I'm removing the color. So here, if you want to set the image, so you have to use URL here. You have to use URL, and then here you have to mention the path in the string. So this URL is in the CSS here. So using to add the image in the background. So how we can do that? So let's add here the path. So as you can see that in the, first of all, we have index.css under the CSS folder. So we have to go one level up so that we can get the images folder here. So images folder is under the root folder. So here let's select any image. So I will be selecting one.jpg. Selecting one.jpg here. So background images dot slash. So first there will be the images. So in the images we have one.jpg. Just save this, and now you can see that we have the background here. Background image here, and our color is also not looking good for the h1. So here we can set the color. So let the color will be color will be white here. So just save that. So we have the white color. Now you can see that our image is not looking good, as it is not having images not full in the background. So for that we have different properties. So we have different properties here. So what are those properties? So here we have the properties like background. We have the background size. Background size, we have two types, that is contain, cover, and second is auto. So auto is by default, and then there we have the contain. So what contain will do? So contain will do like this. So it will make the background repetitive, as it will contain the whole, it will make the image as a container. So means in the container type, means it will show you the whole image. Now don't want to repeat this image, so for that we have the property, so that is background repeat, and it you can see that here we have the values here also written for these one, that is inherit. For the inherit we have description represent the computed value of the property, and then its initial value. Then we have no repeat, so means it will not be repeated. Then this means that we have to select this property here, so it will not add any repeat here, means our image will not be repeated. And now you can see that we have this full image because our image size is very less. So here now what we can do, so we can add the image as cover, and you can see that now the image is little good. So now we can also set the image size as 100% here and 100% from the left as well as 100% from the right here. So from the width and from 100% and 100%. So you can see this. So we have the width as 100%, but height is, this is our body height is not as a visual height, and it is not the 100% height. So here you can set the height of the body as well. So height of the body you can set as 100%. So 100% height will be according to the content, as we have only H1 tag. So that's why it is according to the content. So when I will adding more H1 tag here, so here more H1 tag, hello world 2. Now you can see that our width also extended. So that's why here we can specify the height as 100 view height here, 100 VH. So this means that visible height. So the only the visible height will be there. Means it will be according to the visible height, according to the your computer screen height. So it will be according to that. The 100% and now you can see that we have this scroll bar here. So if you don't want anything to overflow from the body, means it should not go below or not go to the back to the body. So it means if you have only one landing page and you don't want to your content should not overflow. So to to stop that, we have the property as overflow. So it is having the auto hidden scroll. So scroll means it will show the scrolling, it will show the scrolling bar, and then visible. So these type of we have. So if you want to, if you don't want any overflow here, so you can just write overflow hidden, and it will hide everything from here, and you will be not having any scroll bar here, and you can't scroll to the bottom of the page. We have the background property here like this. So now let's go here and understand about the position. So that is also the important concept. So we have to understand about the positions. So for that, what I'm going to do, so just I'm setting the, removing first of all image, and I'm removing the background. And here I'm creating the div here. So here let's create a div. So div with class, so let it be container. So we have the container class, and then here let's add some content. So content like this is the container, and then we have the second div. So second div like container 2. So let it be container 2. Yeah. So we have the container 2 here, and this is a container 2. So now you can see that we have two divs. This is a container and this is container 2. So now we have to understand about the position here. So first of all, by default, the position is always static. So always static. Yeah. So by default, the position is static here. So now, first of all, let's make this div good here. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the height. So div with container. So div with class container. So here I'm writing div dot container. So this means that div with class container here. So see that here we have two divs, and one with class container and one with class container 2. So I'm selecting a particular div with I'm selecting a div with particular class. So it will just select this div here because this div is containing the class as container here, and dot represent the class. So that's why I have written dot here. So div dot container, and I am adding this its height as let it be 500 pixel. Let's save this. 500 pixel are so much. Let it be 200 pixel, and width also as 200 pixel. And here let's add the border. So border is 2 pixel solid and right here. So here this is our first container, and it is having this as 100 pixel, height as 200 pixel. So let the width will be 400 pixel. Yeah, that's great. And then I am choosing the container with div with class container 2, and it is 100 pixel, width also as 100 pixel, and let it be in the green color. So here we have the second container, and now let's see about the position, relative, and absolute here. So first you can see that we have two siblings here. So two siblings are there because they are the body tag. So if I will be selecting the second sibling, so in the second sibling, I will write the position as absolute. So this is having the position absolute. So this position absolute this means here. So you can see that the position CSS property sets how an element is positioned in the document. So this is the position property, that is position property is used to tell that what means how the position of our element, HTML element is there. So we have the static, relative, absolute, sticky, and fixed type of property here. So as we have defined the absolute property, so this is the possibly size. So this is possibly size means this will work with top, right, bottom. So now here see that we have the position as absolute, and here writing a top 0. So it will position itself according to the in here according to the body. So according to the body, because it is not having any parent with respect to the means it is not having any parent, and it is just changing the position with respect to the body here. So that's why it is having the position. So here position absolute is there, and when I will write top 0, left 0, so it will change the position according to the like body. So the position relative is that. So position relative means that so when I will change the left, top, and bottom, so just it will change its it will not change its position, means it will extend its position. It will extend its position. So like here I'm writing left as 50 pixel. So here you can see that it is extending the position. Left is 50 pixel, and here let it be 500 pixel. So we don't have the scroll bar here because we have the overflow hidden. Just save this. And now you can see that for the 500 pixel, we have this one here. It has extended its starting point is extended. So whereas if its left will be 500 pixel here, so you can see that we have it's 500 pixel, but it is not in the same side here. So it should be same here because we have actually here it is 5000 pixel. Sorry. See that we have the left as 500 pixel and here left as 500 pixel. So here you can see that it is having the position with respect to the body here, and you can see that it is little ahead with this previous element. So the most important concept for this is when we have the element under this. So now we have the container under the div element. So we have the container under the div element. So here just I'm writing, just save this. So now you can see that we this container2 is a child of the div, but it is again the this div. So this is because we are having the position as absolute, and this position is with respect to the view of the page only. So now here what we will do, sorry, here the position is relative, so let me remove this. So see that here we have the position relative here. So if we don't have the position relative, so then this is according to the body. So now when I will remove the left, so here I have removed the left here, left from here as well as left from here. So here you can see that it is outside the element. So when I will apply the position relative here, now you can see that it is inside the element. So this is because this its container to position relate absolute is with respect to this container, with respect to its parent container, because parent container is having a position relative. So this is a position concept here. Now we have one more thing, so that is position fixed. So there is position fixed here. So just say this. So we have the position fixed and let it be top bottom as 0. So bottom 0. And here you can see that it is having the bottom 0 and it is having the left 0 here. So now we have the position fixed here. So this means that it will remain in the same position if we will scroll also. So let me add something here. So here I will add like, let's add one paragraph tag with lorem ipsum. So we have this. Let's increase its size. So here I'm selecting the paragraph tag and I'm selecting the font size as an REM. So we have this font size and now you can see that we have the scroll bar. So when I'm moving this, so see that our this div position is not moving. So this is fixed here. So this is position fixed and the position absolute for container2 is with respect to this container only. So because this container is having position fixed, so it will move according to this container only. So this position fixed. So this we mostly use for the navigation bars. So now we have learned about the border, background, and this one here, position here. So now let's learn about some, as because we have very less time and I can't explain you every code here, every property up to 200 properties. Okay, why the world was not visible? Yeah, world was not visible because it black and our image is also having the background black, so that's why it was not visible. Yeah, position fixed is according to the sticky, but sticky is that like whenever we are doing any scrolling here, so it will change its position from sticky to fixed. We are adding, so let me show you the example. So here I am removing this container, so let me apply this only. So let's add its height width to the 100%, and height to the 40 pixel, and I'm removing this second div. And just save this. So here I will be having the position sticky, and actually I want to add the parent div also here. So let's do that. So here we have the left 0. So let it be top 0. Top 0 is there. So here you can see that So when I'm using here, so I'm using this. So when I'm giving this one here, means scrolling, having little sticky position. So now it is not going ahead because we have the another div. So it should be remain in one div here. So here when I will be creating another div, so div with sticky, let it be, and let's here under this div only, under this one, and just save this. And I'm changing the class this container to as sticky. So now you can see the change. Actually, we have to change as 100%, right, as 100 ph. Now yes, we have. Let me set the width also. So let me set the width as 50%. So now you can see that we are under the div here, and our this div is having the position. Moving that. First of all, it has position sticky, and then when I'm scrolling, then it is changing the position to a fixed here. So actually, we have to set some so that it should work more properly. So as we have top 0 for this container as well, and let it be container relative. So this is the benefit of the position sticky here. So mostly we use this in the navigation bar also. So for the sticky, we must have to use like top is equals to 0. So it will be sticky according to the top as 0, and then it will be sticky according to different type. So just this one is there. So now we have some pseudo classes. So first of all, for the pseudo classes, I'm going to use the anchor tag here. So let's use the anchor tag. So anchor href. Href will be like anything. So google.com and Google. So just save this. So we have this anchor tag here. So now we can add CSS for the anchor tag as well. So we have the CSS for the anchor tag. So we can set its color. So color to the black if you want. So black color, and we can set its background. So background color as let it be blue, light blue. So we have the light blue background, and now there is one thing as padding. So how you can set the padding here? So padding, we can set padding as two types. So first is padding as 10 pixels. So I'm setting padding as 10 pixels. So it will set the padding from the every side. If you want to set the padding from the particular side, then what you are going to do, like 10 pixel from this one, this will be from the top, and then 20 pixel from the right side here. So means this will move like this, like clockwise. It will move clockwise here, from left, right, from top, right, down, and left. So then you can see that we have the button like this here. So we have the 20 pixel from left and right, and 10 pixel from top and bottom here. Now if you want to remove this line here, so for that what you can do, so for that you have to write text decoration. So text decoration as none here, and you can also set the font size here. So font size to 20 pixel, font size to 1.2 rem. So root means sorry, not root means so it is the unit here. So root of the em is the rem. So then here you can set the font weight also, that is it can be bold, it can be means 100, 200, 300, it can be bold, it can be lighter, it can be bolder, and it can be normal also. So you can set like this. So for the pseudo element, what we are going to do here, so for the pseudo element, so we can set, we can use dot slash means double column here, double column, and you can see that we have many pseudo elements. After is there, backdrop is there, before is there. So we will be using the before here, and then this pseudo elements is there. So here we are having this default CSS. First is content. So if we are using pseudo element, then we have to define the content here. So in the content, you can make it empty or any text here also, and then we will be having the position absolute for the pseudo element. So if you are setting any pseudo element here, so here you should set the position as relative. So then we have top 0 and left 0, width we have 100%, and then background color, let it be this one here, that is red, and z index is there. So the z index we said that like how it will be according to the means in the z direction, you can say that z axis. So means it will be up from the element. So like if I'm writing 5 here, so it now we have the red above the blue because it is having the z index greater than its anchor tag, because it will be having the default as z index 0 or 1. So here we have the red color. So now what I will do, so I will just add its width as 0%. So it's width. Now here we are going to use the pseudo class. So here I'm going to use the pseudo class as first a dot hover. So on hover, what I'm going to do. So on hover, when I will hover on the anchor tag, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to change the color to red. So here and color to white. So when I'm hovering on it, you can see that our color is changing. So our color is changing here. So, and now if you want to target the pseudo element, when we are with the pseudo class here, so like on the hovering, we have to target the pseudo element to create the animation here. So that on the hover, it should create animation, it will be little attractive. So for that, what I'm going to do, so just copying this, and instead of I'm removing this background color, and here what I'm going to do here, so here I'm going to add this, that is a, first of all there will be a pseudo class, and after the pseudo class I'm targeting the pseudo element, and here I'm writing the width as 100%. So here what it will do, so it will do like this, because it is just we have the opacity as 0.5%. So opacity is to set the transparency. So it is from 0 to 1. So here is 1, and by default the opacity will be 1. And here you can see that we have this one here. So this is because we don't have any content, so that's why. So here we can write Google also here. So when we are hovering it, so you can see that we have the Google, and this is having the content here. So here what we can do, so whenever we are hovering on this, so we can change the content here as well. So content as Google. Let's save this. So here you can see that now our content is different. So we can also write here like join now. When we are hovering on it, we have the don't have any animation here. So for the animation, we can add the transition also here. So we can add the transition. So like what I'm going to do, so I'm going to write its width as 100%, and left I'm going to add as minus 100%. So left minus 100%. So and you can see that it is overflowing that. So it is overflowing the pseudo element. So here what I'm going to do, so here I'm going to add the overflow as hidden here. Is having actually z index. Yeah, minus 100% is good. So let it be minus 200%. So now it is good. So we have the overflow hidden as well. So here now we can move forward here. So here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to add the transition. So transition. So first of all, transition, what will be there? So we have to first of all mention the seconds. So how many seconds we have to add the delay. So here will be 0.5 second. And then here we have to add the transition name. And we can here specify also on which we have to add the transition. can specify that as well. So we can left, and like this we can write text as well. So on the text we have to add the, and by default it will be the easy now. And here whenever I'm hovering on it, our before will change our left to 0. Left to 0 here. Just save this. So here you can see that now it is looking like this. So this is having glitter transition and it is creating the animation for us. So you can use these pseudo classes here. So as the time is very less, I can't tell you every type of pseudo class in this. So now how you can create means how you can add the responsiveness in the website. That we are having some properties like media queries here. So there is a media queries start from media screen. So media screen, and here we can set any property. So that is max width. So here it is media only screen, and we can set max width is there. So if the maximum width of our this one is 600 pixel, then according to that how our this work will represent, this web page will represent. So according to this one we can specify any CSS here. So like here we have I'm using the anchor tag. So here anchor tag, and by default it's let's set its width. So width by default I'm setting as 60 pixel. Let it be 60 pixel. Sorry. So here what we can do here. So on maximum width for the anchor tag, so there we have to change the color. So we have to change the color to green. So when I will go to the inspect element this, so I will inspect element this, and I will open the this one here. So this is used for this one, I mean a device emulation. So here you can see that our it is not getting responsive and it is not also changing the color here. So first of all we have to add the media viewport here. So we have to add the media viewport. So for that I'm going to use this. So just save this. So here is meta, name is equal to viewport, content is equal, width is according to the device width, and initial scale will be 1.0. So we have to define this for the Chrome. And now you can see that we have I'm increasing this. So let me make this like this. So here now we have dimension as 860 pixel. So when I'm reducing this, and now you can see that when I'm below the 600 pixel, our color is changing to the green here. So according to this one, you can change the means you can change your CSS according to the device here. And there is one thing, like if you want to mention the media queries for any web page, then you should start from a smaller device. So first of all, from the smaller device, you should specify the CSS, and then according to the devices you need, then afterwards you can go for bigger and bigger. And this will be by default that you will write here for the big devices, like for the laptops and desktops in which you are coding. Then you can set according to the devices using media queries here. So now how you can add the animation. If you want to add the animation here, so how you can add that. So this will be just the last topic, because as we are as now 8 o'clock is there and time is no more. So here what we will do, just add the just learn about the animation, and then the W3 schools, and you can learn about the CSS more by doing the practice. And here if you want to add the animation here, so here first of all I'm adding the tag is there. So hello world. So I have to animate this hello world. So animate this. So to animate this, we are having one thing. Let me close this media queries first. Yeah, this hello world is there. So we have to animate this. So for that, we have animation property here. So to target the H1. So I'm targeting the H1 here. So here I will be using animation. So here what we have to mention. So first of all, we have to mention the name, then duration, and then there is a timing function. So we will be defining the timing function here using the at the rate key. There is one event. So that is at the rate keywords here, keyframes here. So here, first of all, name. So that the animation name will be like animate, and here duration. So duration will be almost like 1.5 second. So let it be 1.5 second. And then we can define the delay and iteration count, direction we can define. So everything we can define here. So here we will be using easy now. So easy now will be the transition. And then infinite means it will run infinite times. So you can mention here 1 as well as you can mention here 5. So it will run 5 times. So here I will mention it as infinite times. Infinite times. So here when I'm saving this, you can see that we don't have animation. So to get the animation, we have to define the keyframes. So here will be the keyframes, and the identifier is animate. So that is the animation name, and then we can animate here. So from the 0%, you can define here like 0%, and at 5% what will be there, at 10% what will be there, and you can even define it as from. So from this one to this one. So like opacity 0, from opacity 0, and then to opacity 1 here. So it will run for a 1.5 second. So you can see that we have the animation here. Duration is 1.5 second, and it is running infinite times. And you can just change the also here. And here you can mention how it will remove, means it will work. It will move alternate reverse, it will move backward, it will move forwards. So you can define also here. So like it is moving forward here. First, it is from opacity 0 to opacity 1. If I will apply backward here, so first opacity will be 1, then it will be 0. So like that you can. So I hope you have understood about the some concepts here, and some more concepts are there, like float concept is there, clear property is there. So as we have very less time, and now almost the time is over, so that's why I can't explain you everything here. So you have to explore about it. I think you have understand many things. So Suraj, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Rohan, for deep insights of CSS. And if any one of you having any questions, you can proceed with that. And yeah, later on we can wrap up the session very soon, as we are running out of time, right? Let me check it. Can you confirm that echo is from my side or no?
No echo is there.
Okay. Any questions, anyone? It seems no questions for now. Yeah. So let's meet tomorrow for JS, and there will be exclusive session for API with Postman. and the session will be covered by Rakesh, and there might be some surprises over there. So just stay connected with us on social media, right? And let's meet tomorrow. Okay, I am closing the session for now. Okay, bye bye. Bye everyone. Thank you for attending.